All right, guys, welcome back to Crossman Productions. Man, I hope you guys are having a great Saturday morning. It's nice and warm, toasty here in Texas. So, if you guys get a chance, make sure you're getting outside and enjoy the day. Um, for right now, I'm glad you guys are joining us, man, because my next guest, I've been waiting all week to talk to this guy. I ran into him over at Powerslap 15. He was one of the judges um, for the match. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the matches. But I ran into this guy, and I've been watching Powerslap for about two years now. We've been doing this, and he's one of these guys out, and it's been fun to watch. So to be able to have him on the show and get to know him a little bit more, man, it's awesome. I really look forward to it. So um, me go ahead and bring the King of Kings, Ryan Phillips, man. What's up, my brother?
How you doing, Parks? Thank
I
you for
am
having me.
good. I'm doing good, brother.
Awesome, awesome. It's good to see you, bud.
Yeah, it was funny because when I went to Power Slap 15, you know, um, I finally got to go to an actual match. I've been doing this thing for like 2 years, and Ron comes on the show all the time. Babyface comes on. Damien, Vern, they all come on, and one of the things that I do before each Power Slap is Ron and I'll do our we'll go through the cards and it's kind of funny to watch Ron do that because Ron's friends with a lot of guys in the league.
Yeah.
So when you have to tell him to pick between two fighters, yeah, he hates doing that because he's like, I'm not trying to tick anybody off. But it's a
Right.
lot of fun to do it. And you to be able to go see the match live, in person was really cool. And I got there and I thought, um, I was just going to grab some pictures with some of the guys and stuff, but I didn't realize how big the show was and how many people actually watched the show until I actually got out there. Um, but I had a blast, man. It was, I got to run into a lot of the contenders, and then I ran into you after the match, before the after party. But yeah, so welcome to the show, man.
Yeah. No, it's awesome, man. It was cool to run into you. Definitely a surprise. I've watched some of your content before. Like you said, you've done content with Wolverine. Of course, I watch Wolverine. Babyface is another guy I watch. So, I'm always checking up on them too. And great insight from both of those guys, especially from Wolverine because he was the season one coach and he pretty much helped us all at one point. So yeah, awesome, awesome content, my friend. Good stuff.
Cool, man. I appreciate it, man. So yeah, I wanted to bring you in and have my audience get to know a little bit more um, about you and kind of your journey. In kind of like where you grew up, what life was like before, and then
Yeah.
how you kind of got involved in the sport.
Yeah, I'm from New Jersey. I was born in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Basically moved around a lot in New Jersey. Lived in Manasquan, lived in Wall Township, lived in Point Pleasant, Seaside Heights, Ortley Beach, all over. Bricktown, Seaside Heights. I think I said that before. Tom's River. So I was all over the place in New Jersey. My mom and dad were two of the most wonderful people. They raised me, as I am today. Uh, I think they did a great job. But at one time it wasn't so great, but I think I grew out of it and grew up. So hopefully they're happy upstairs. But grew up in New Jersey for 21 years of my life, and then moved to Ohio. Now here for 21 years of my life. 42 years old. Um, but other than that, just grew up hanging out with friends. I was kind of like a punk. I guess you could say I was into sports. I played basketball. Um, I played baseball, and I did karate. I did a lot of taekwondo with J.H. Kim at one point, and then all my friends were in combat sports. My friend Brian Schroyer, I called Schroyer the Destroyer. He
Right.
was a black belt, and we would train a lot or just fuck around, and we're just tough guys. We had a name throughout our school, and we just tough guys. So just grew up being tough, and we didn't have any guns in New Jersey, so it was all fists. And I was also big into bodyboarding and surfing. So I was at the beach a lot, and there was a locals only kind of mentality. So it was kind of like a little street warfare on the beach, which was
Right.
cool. But I was just always, I guess you could say, saw as a tough kid. Everyone would say, oh, Phillips is gonna fight and all this stuff in grade school and high school. So
Right.
I have a name out there in New Jersey, just locally. They were kind of tight knit towns. New Jersey is very densely populated, so there's a lot of houses close together. So, a lot of people.
Right.
I went to school with like 1,200 kids. So in one high school, I went to two high schools because my one high school I got kicked out of for fighting. I was
Wow.
such a I was a I was a scrappy young lad. Let's say. So I wasn't afraid to fight. I looked up to my dad, and my dad was a fighter. He
Yeah.
was one of the baddest motherfuckers. Like everyone would come up to me, even when I was a young kid, and be like, "Your dad is just one of the toughest guys that we know." And I always lived up to that. I always wanted to be as tough as my dad. Obviously, that's my hero. So, uh, I guess you could fast forward to about 2005. The show Jersey Shore. Remember that show? Came
Right.
about. It just it made everything crazy where I live because I lived on the shore basically. So my
Right.
the people that own the house that I lived at raised the rent by like $2,000-3,000
Wow.
because it
Great.
became a tourist attraction. So they saw more money and took advantage of that. So my mom previously met someone because he was in the military. My dad passed away. My mom met someone in the military that was stationed in New Jersey, and then she moved to where he lives in Ohio before I moved, and I ended up moving to Ohio. And then Ohio's just a culture shock. I said New Jersey made me smart. New Jersey made me good with my hands. Now Ohio's making me good with like being a killer because this place is like, yeah, it's kill or be killed. Um,
Right.
you have guns. We didn't have guns in New Jersey. Now there's just guns everywhere, and apparently there's racism because I've experienced 3 bouts of racism this year alone. So there's
Wow.
a lot of racism out here, and yeah, I'm white and I'm getting
Wow.
people are being racist towards me. It's nuts. But yeah, I've been through some pretty crazy shit out here. I'll tell you that. I was a repo man at one point
Wow.
as a side job, so I was getting shot at, stabbed at, and all sorts of crazy things, and just going through some crazy street warfare out here all the
Right.
time, and it just like toughened me up. And there's one point, it wasn't because I wanted to have protection, because I always feel like I can protect myself, but my ex girlfriend broke up with me, and I got mad. So
Right.
I went to probably the worst place to look for a fight. I went to Strong Style MMA in Independence, Ohio. I don't know
Wow.
if you know, but that's Cody Garbrandt, Stipe Miocic, John Hawk, like just these killers, like just killers row of people, like
Right.
champions everywhere. I went there looking for a fight. Good thing they stopped me because I probably would got murdered. But
Wow.
they said, hey, we can have you hit some pads and stuff. And then from there, I actually joined the gym, and then
Right.
I started really training like MMA, boxing, and really getting strong. But my start into slap fighting, we can get into that. So my start into slap fighting, I was watching COVID hit. Basically, well, before COVID, I was watching them, but there was no real rhyme or reason to them. You had Dumpling knocking out 125-pound dudes, just sending them
Right.
across the room. So it wasn't real interesting. It was just like, this is the dumbest shit. It's so
Right.
stupid. Why would you do that? Yeah. Um, so I was in the club of this shit is stupid.
Right.
But then fast forward to around like 2018, definitely COVID, when COVID hit in 2020. Um, you saw a slap fight championship come up, and then these
Yeah.
other promotions across the seas like Punch Down, and then I think there was Chinchek was also in New York, in the United States too. But you started seeing people actually like give it more rules, weight
Yeah.
classes. Started making it a little bit more safer. And then it became interesting because it's like, oh, okay, it's not just dumpling knocking a 90-pound high school kid across the room. It's like
Right.
a test of toughness. It's like who's tougher than the other because it's really that's what it comes down to. If you have it or not. If you don't have
Right.
it, then you shouldn't be up there, and we'll find out. So that that became interesting to me, and then you started seeing like Wolverine, Darius the Destroyer, Frank the Tank, even the Bell. There's just a lot of people that they became so dominant. It's like, whoa, who's gonna stop these guys? Then it's like,
Right.
oh man, maybe I'll come and stop these guys. And I got
Right.
that fire. I got a little fire in me because I was like, wow, I could probably do something like this because I used to slap the shit out of my friends back at the bar when I was younger.
Right.
So we I commented on a video and I was like, this is the next champion right here. And we tried to set it up, but it didn't work out. The scheduling, I was kind of new to my job, and I didn't want to take any days off, and I was looking for a promotion at that time, so I didn't want to take any days
Right.
off in the week. So the schedule was for the weekend, and I just couldn't make it. So I couldn't join Slap Fight Championship at that time. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, fucking Gary DeFranco from the UFC. He's the guy who made the Ultimate Fighter. He's like the executive producer for Ultimate Fighter.
Right.
He hits me up and he's like, "It's Gary DeFranco with the UFC." I got a text message. I'm like, "What the hell?" I thought it was fake, and I'm like, "Yo," I'm like, "Yeah, this is me." And he's like, "Dana White's looking to start a slap league. Are you interested?" And because a lot of people knew I was trying to join the slap fight championships, and I was like, for the UFC. I'm like, fuck yeah, are you kidding me? I would. And at that point, I just got hired into my job because I was like a temporary. Now I'm a full time. Um, so I could take days off and things of that sort. And they're like, we're gonna have you here for a week in Vegas. You're gonna be here with a bunch of guys. Yada yada yada. You're just gonna stay here, and we can't tell you too much yet because we just don't know. And I was like, oh, this is perfect, I guess. I wanted to be a slap fighter, so I got the call. I got the text message. I still got the text message too. I can show you after the show. Um, but yep, I guess I was signed up there, and later I found out that I was one of two people. Well, I think we're still live. I was one of two or three people. Parks is backed off, but I was one of two, three people. Crazy Hawaiian, Sheena, and I were the first three, from my understanding. And beyond that, it was cool. We definitely had a great time in Vegas. I met a lot of cool people. Obviously, I met actually some of my best friends from the show here, and man, it was super. Let's see if Parks is. I just got kicked out. Parks got kicked out. He's coming in. Telling him I'm holding it down for him. Parks' computer's messing up. But yeah. So started the journey there. Flew out to Vegas. Get out to Vegas. I'm in a room full of just crazy looking dudes. If you ever seen a guy named Devin Schwan before, that's one of my great friends. Devin Schwan is just covered in tattoos. He looks like a menace. The guy, it's just, you're like, what the fuck? And then, I met Jules Scott thereafter, and then Jules Scott is recognizable. I knew him from somewhere, and then once I got to know him, he fought for like Jorge Masvidal. He was a champion in MMA promotions that a lot of my friends fought in. So I knew Jules Scott, and right away when I saw him, I had to say hi. So I said hi to him first, and then I met my buddy Dorian, good old Dorian with the back pocket beer. Dorian introduced himself. He had a black eye, bloody lip. He just got into a fight, and he says, "Man, you look like the guy who just beat me up." I just remember saying, "Dude, don't call the cops on me. That's all I care. You know, if I beat you up, I beat you up." So me and Dorian, that's how me and Dorian met. But none of us knew. A lot of the guys didn't know what was happening or what was going on. So I kind of did because he introduced himself as UFC, so I kind of knew something big was happening, but none of the other guys knew. But beyond that, we ended up rolling up to the UFC Apex and with a row of jerseys and whatnot, and all of us are just mind blown. And I remember standing in the hallway and Dana White popping out through the doors with his security, and everyone's like, "That's fucking Dana White! Holy shit!" And yeah, Dana was there, gave us the rundown, said you guys are going to be a part of something new, going to be a part of something spectacular, as it is today. And we all were pretty much prepared for it. There was a bunch of guys there that just had a ton of experience within just fighting alone, just fighting. And then you had like guys like Tony Lopez. Tony Lopez, it's like a 70 fight bare knuckle legend. I think he has 90 fights. Actually, I'm sorry, 70 was low. It's 90 fights he has in bare knuckle. Beyond that, however, you had other guys like Darren Godfrey Jr., who was a bare knuckle guy himself, and then just a bunch of bare knuckle dudes. Robert Trujillo was, as you all know, a fantastic human being, as well as one of the greats in MMA, slap fighting. So Robert Trujillo, you had Static Hints, AJ, uh, just badass motherfuckers all around, all around. So the qualifier was very unique, and that's where a lot of your champions and your guys that you everyone calls OGs came from, was that qualifier. So that was a huge time. But no one knew what it was really about until about like face offs, and then we all faced off. We all got our matches, stood next to each other side by side. They paired us up, and then we hey, welcome back.
Back, man. I swear,
Welcome
dude. I
back,
hate
buddy.
you.
I was just I was blabbing away about when we first got into the in Vegas to start the thing. Talk about the qualifier, how we all met and stuff, and how Dana White just popped out of the doors out of nowhere, and everyone was like, "Dana White." And we're all surprised,
Right?
yeah, because no one knew what was going on. But I was just gonna talk about how me and Rob Perez, the Wolf, got matched up. Um, and then we pretty well me and Wolf got matched up. We went up on the stage. We were talking to each other because we pretty much knew that he and I were gonna get matched up because we were kind of like two of the same size. There wasn't super heavyweights or anything like that. There was heavyweights, but we got matched up together, and we were talking. Let's make this shit a show. Let's go nuts. And so the face off, the first time I ever met Dana White, actually just shook his hand, was the Wolf face off, and I was just losing it in my head because I'd never been like about this before, but I just knew I wanted to put on a show. I wanted people to remember who I am, so anything I could do,
Right.
you know. So Dana White, I walk up there. Dana White puts his hand out. I grab it. I like crush it. I ran right into the Wolf's face, and I'm like, "You're fucking dead, motherfucker!" And started mouthing off, and and then Dana White with his big ass arms, he freaking pried us apart. There's a picture on the internet of that, and he's way stronger than he looks because he definitely pushed me away with ease, and I was like, "Oh, okay." But we were all fired up. Everyone was freaking out, and the cameras were in our face, and we were just going wild. And ended up being that me and the Wolf had one of the best matches in Powerslap history, which also could have sold the whole organization to the investors that were sitting there as well, as from what I heard from the people who ran it. So even Frank, I'm sorry.
Like your first fight, when you actually, because you've been watching it all this time. You know what I mean? You were watching all this time. You wanted to go out there and try it out. What was it like when you were on that stage and you had to take the first slap? What were you thinking?
So it's kind of hard because in the beginning I was just hanging out with, it was a locker room full of guys. It was just me, Vern, Vern Cathy, Jose Ligor, Walter Strickland, Stretch Strickland, who's a bare knuckle fighter, and me. And we were just all hanging out basically. And I knew I was the main event, so I knew I was going up last. And Vern was the co-main, so it ended up just being me and Vern. We were just hanging out. Me and Vern were just laying on the floor, like kind of passing out. We were kind of falling asleep. I was kind of, just trying to relax. And then all of a sudden, the fight came apart, and they had me walk down the ramp. Well, I thought it was a ramp, but they got rid of the ramp supposedly, and we just walked to the stage from the floor. But I'll get into that in a second. But yeah, it was crazy, man. Like I had the first hit, so I was like, man, this guy is not gonna take my hit at all.
Yeah.
So I was super confident. I'm like, there's no way this guy's gonna be able to take a full shot from me. And I got up there, and sure enough, he took a full shot. He took that hit, and it blew my mind. Actually, I not only did I gain like a lot of respect for him, but it just like it kind of at that point, I was just like, oh shit, like he took that like good, and in street fights, you throw 100%er at someone and you just hit them, and they're just gone. And it was like, oh wow, I'm definitely up someone who's actually special. The Wolf is special. He's a tough guy.
Right.
So after that, I was like, oh shit, but here we go. I'm in for a long night. So, but you have to do it. What am I gonna do? Chimp out? So I put my hands behind my back, and I let Rob do his thing. Well, that first hit from Rob knocked me completely out. Like I don't remember.
Wow.
I don't remember before. I don't remember the match, and I remember probably a half hour after that. Maybe I don't remember anything a half hour after the match. So I didn't know anything that happened during the One Eye Wolf match at all, because he hit me straight in the neck. So he cut off my air, and they thought it was a concussion, but my whole neck from like here to here was all black and blue. Like he just like got me right in the neck. So knocked me out. I didn't know what they're doing. I woke up. I had text messages saying Dana loves you and all this.
Wow.
I'm like, what the fuck happened? I'm like, are you serious? And I'm like, did I win? They're like, no. But they're like, you should have won. And I was like, holy shit. I'm like, how many rounds? And they're like, it went all around. I'm like, what the? I had no idea, because I was all fucked up. So yeah, but you watch it back, and it's like holy shit. Me and Wolf went at it like crazy, and I was pulling off all these stuff and talking shit, and I wasn't even there. So yeah, it was awesome. It was a crazy experience. Afterwards, I was like, I'm not doing this shit ever again. But then obviously I did. But it was crazy. It was the craziest thing I've ever experienced.
Man, and then from there you end up getting the championship.
Yeah, I fought for the championship.
Yeah,
I fought. I from there I was actually called onto the Road to the Title, the very first season of Road to the Title, which was like the Ultimate Fighter, and that was going to be on TBS. So they put me on that show. They wanted the Wolf to be on there as well, but unfortunately he couldn't get medically cleared. So that was going to be like the big selling point, was me and Wolf being on that show, but that didn't happen. But it was still cool as fuck. I mean, I stayed there for 3 weeks in Vegas in the house. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't watch TV or anything. But that was the next progression of my career. But unfortunately, I got matched up with Dwayne Crespo. But before that, 2 days before that match, I blew my arm out, and it was no one really knows this, but me and Dwayne were basically because they had like how they have like events on the day and they have a card. Well, they did kind of the same thing with Road to the Title. They would have a card, but me and Dwayne were once again the main event. We were the top of the card. So I'm like, I'm not fighting. This is like, I'm here. I just stayed here for 3 freaking weeks. I blew my arm out 2 days before the fight. I'm like, I'm still fighting. I'm still fighting. Like I'm not backing down. I don't give a shit. And everyone was like, they're like, oh wow, you need surgery. Are you sure you still want to fight? I'm like, yeah. And I fought Dwayne, and Dwayne knocked his dude out in one hit. And everyone's like, you're going up there with, huh?
Is it that Crespo? That's
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, he's a tough dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. You know, he's had a great career.
yeah,
You know, he's had a just great matches, and people watch Crespo. But yeah, that like you say, he's a tough guy, and everyone's like, here I am, blew my arm out. Like I have no, you know, I'm kind of a question mark. I'm kind of a
yeah,
mystery. So I wouldn't say they were trying to talk me out of it, but they were like, "Are you sure you want to do this?"
right, right,
I'm like, yes. I'm like, put me up there. I'll go in there with my left. You know, whatever. If I have to hit him with the right again, you know, I'll try. I'll see how I feel. But I was like, I'll go in there anyway, and they're like, all right. So I kind of like, I don't want to say save the show, but there was no heavyweights that would have been on there if it wasn't for me and Crespo,
right.
and definitely saved the main event because we were the main event. So. Um, Went up there, put on a show once again. People said if I didn't foul, because I fucking fouled on my first shot, which sucked. Said if I
Yeah.
didn't foul, I probably would have won the match. I thought I won the match anyway because Crespo was hitting me and all over the place, up not legally, but they didn't call it. But they gave the match to Crespo. And then my next match was Darius the Destroyer after my surgery and rehab, who's the greatest of all time. Like Jesus
Right.
Christ, no easy path here. So they gave me Darius the Destroyer. I beat him, which was fucking crazy because I looked up to that dude. And then they gave me number one, Nate Bernard, who is a
Right.
gigantic human being, and you know, obviously that was terrifying because he's fucking huge. But I went up there and did my thing up there, and you know, you go watch the match. It's on UFC or Powerslap. So Nate Bernard versus Ryan Phillips, and see how that goes. Um, but ended up winning that, and then yeah, I faced the Bell, and the Bell it went the way it went. That's all I'll say. But I don't know. It was you know, the way he hit me was kind of fishy a couple times there, but that's all I'll say.
But I mean, just the road, the road to that, getting to the title shot. I mean, first of all, you're taking on Crespo, freaking beast. Then they give you Darius. Darius the Destroyer. What was that like too? Because when you start watching this thing, Darius is like one of the guys we're watching. So what was it like to actually meet him face to face and then go against him?
Oh well, meeting Darius was I already met Darius through Road to the Title because he was a coach.
Mhm.
So me and Darius actually became friends. I think Darius is great, man. He's a great kid. You know, and obviously he's in my opinion the goat still. No one's gonna have that kind of run. He went like 19-0. It's just ridiculous, you know.
Uh,
And he
right,
but you know he went through Wolverine. Wolverine couldn't beat him at
right,
one point, if everyone remembers. Wolverine couldn't beat him. Fucking Frank the Tank couldn't beat him. You know, he went through some top competition. And
right,
so for me to come back, not only did I come back from surgery like really early, you know, I was coming back to freaking Darius the Destroyer, the greatest of all time.
right,
So, so it was crazy. You know, it was definitely, I was wilding out of my head because not only that, because he had the first strike too. He got the first strike, and
right,
Darius has knockout power. He can knock people out.
right,
And you know it was in my head. I was in my own head for Darius. I was going nuts because who knew how my arm would work after
right.
surgery and all that, and you know, getting up there with the goat with a crowd because that was another time that we finally had a crowd. But you know, I just lost my mind. I just let it go, let the king take over, and
Right.
you know, I put on that match. I took off my shoes, kicked the shoes off. You know, was going wild in the crowd, and it just you know, he fouled me. I think I got into his head. He ended up fouling me and disqualifying himself, which I still would like to go back up against Darius at some point and you know, give him a chance to get that back because I think he just beat himself, to be honest. But I like freaked out on stage. Like I was like, oh, I was like, you know, and I see the comments like everyone's like, why is he freaking out? It's a DQ. It's because I just had surgery on my arm. I just had probably the hardest recovery for 7 to 8 months,
Right.
and then I just fought the greatest of all time. Like, you wouldn't be freaking out too? Like, come on, it's like
Right.
this is like huge to me. That was huge. Like, I don't. Other people don't see that match as like being crazy, but that was a huge match for me. And
Right.
yeah, I let it loose. And I was freaking out, and it was awesome. That moment was like, okay, like that gave me like confidence. Like, wow, I maybe I really am that person that I'm thinking I am. Like,
Right.
and then
And
yeah, I
then
was
they
just
threw
like,
Bernard at you.
yeah,
I
big
forgot to
boy.
give you Bernard. I mean, that dude's a beast too. I mean, that dude right there in Powerslap 15. I think that was the match. That was the probably the best match of the night. It was
Absolutely.
him and Aaron Turner. I mean, both those
No,
guys
I
were
agree.
good.
Yeah. Oh, Aaron Turner is a monster. He's legit as they come. I mean, he just that Nate Bernard is number one. He was number one caliber, and he took him pretty much the distance. Could have won the match honestly if they didn't see it as a draw, and just all that shit happened afterwards. But
Right.
I think Aaron Turner is gonna come back strong, gonna come back as one of the top. But Nate Bernard, yeah, Nate Bernard. What can you say? The guy he put in the work. No secret. I worked with him as well,
Right.
and he put on probably one of the best matches we've had in our history. It was a in the 3 rounds that transpired, you didn't know who was gonna win, and then all of a sudden that
Right.
sudden death round came, and it was just like I was on the stage. They told me before. Herzog
Right.
Herzog came up to me, right? And he's like, hey, come here, come here. And he gets all excited. I love Herzog, but he's like, yo, I think we're going to our first sudden death. I'm like, oh. He's like, shh. He's like, don't tell anyone yet. Don't tell anyone. And I was
Right.
like, I knew, so I was like, oh shit, like this is gonna be wild. And
Right.
I couldn't tell Nate, but me and Rob Trujillo were talking, and then they announced it, and it was just like the roof blew off the place. It was electric. I couldn't hear it. The crowd was deafening. I couldn't hear anything. It was nuts, bro. It
Yeah.
was such a cool moment. But yeah, great match. Nate Bernard, absolute beast. Going up against him myself, I was like, holy shit. Um, how am I going to do this? I think everyone was like that because
Right.
I was a 6-1 underdog, and I was like, oh man, this is a David versus Goliath type deal. But
Right.
I figured a lot out, and each match I was progressively finding things out, and I was seeing things that are still to right now people haven't really thought about, like doing, like I adjusted my height to take power away from him.
Right.
The way I was talking shit, like all the talking shit is not just me trying to be an asshole.
Right.
It's a utility. I'm trying to get in their head. I'm trying to, make them think differently. And the when I, if you watch the beginning of the match, I got up and I ran into his face and got in his face, and I was like, "This is my fucking house, mother. This is my house," and yelling at him. But you know, Nate being Nate, he's probably never had anyone do that to him. He's probably never had someone show no fear to him
Right.
because he is a big dude. So I was like, if I just do that and I just kept getting in his head and just, fucking with him, and then, and then my slap was like so dialed in. Like me and Brian Ellis held the pad for me, and even Brian Ellis was like holding it with 2 hands, and I was just so dialed in with my slap. Like I don't know, it was just it was the perfect storm for me because it was I ended up beating him, and no one saw me beating him, but it was like it was not miraculous, but I would say it was definitely a tough challenge for someone like me.
Yeah. And I ran into Brian Ellis Power Slap. That dude was
Yeah,
a lot bigger than I thought he was.
yeah. Ellis
Yeah.
is a football player. He's a
Yeah.
big ass
Yeah.
dude.
So yeah, we're trying to get him on the show too. But yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, Ellis is a good guy,
Uh,
man. I hung out with him during Vegas and had the best time. I always have the best time with Ellis when I hang out with him.
so and then after Nate, then you got to go against Damien for the title. And you
Yep.
got you got the the shot at the title. So um what's next for you? Did you officially retire?
So, well, I mean, my retirement's it's got a lot of like ifs and buts and
Yeah.
whats around it. I mean, at the time there was really no other decision to make because the matchups they were trying to make for me just there was no really exciting matches there, and
Yeah.
the only match I wanted was the rematch with the Bell.
Right.
After what transpired, and I really thought I deserved a rematch because I was the only person to really take him that far, and the outcome of the match was kind of fishy because obviously his hand was completely torqued and he didn't hit me with his hand at all. Uh,
Mm.
but so yeah, I didn't know what else to do. I waited for my trading card to come out, and then I said I'm gonna retire, just so that trading card come out. But I
Yeah.
retired because there really wasn't anything exciting for me there. Then I thought about moving down to 205 because I'm actually originally only 185 pounds, but
Mm.
I'm fat right now. But um, I thought about that, but there was nothing there. They asked me if I wanted to still coach and officiate, and I was like, yeah, I still do.
Yeah.
So I was at Powerslap 15. I was the coach for the red corner. Um, so I did that, but you know, we talked. I said, if there's anything special, like give me something special. I
Right.
called out Bigfoot Silva at one time. Me
Mm.
and Austin Turpin were supposed to fight like 3 or 4 times, and but I was injured. And then there's big fights out there. Crazy Hawaiian's a heavyweight now. Like
Yeah.
I would love to fight Crazy Hawaiian as just
What to say,
because he's
with the heavyweight league, now you got Turpin's going to move up to it because
right.
you can't wait for light heavyweights. Like I'm assuming they're throwing them up to uh, heavyweight,
Yep.
and then Crazy Hawaiian looks like they're dropping him. But that dude lost so much weight, man. Uh, crazy. It's crazy how much weight that guy's lost. But
It's
um,
crazy. Yeah. Hey, his name wouldn't be Crazy Hawaiian if he wasn't doing
right,
crazy shit, right?
right. So yeah, him and Joker coming on. We were talking about that too. The weight loss, but yeah, so he's dropped down. I'm surprised if he doesn't drop down to light heavyweight as much weight as he's lost. I mean, he's getting down there. So, but
Yeah, I know.
I was thinking about what you said with you and Turpin. I think that would be a great match.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would be a great match. I think it would be entertaining. It would be an
Mhm.
entertaining match, but I don't see him lasting with me long at all.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you know, yeah,
after what I've seen in his last couple of matches, I don't see
and
him
I
being
was
a
going to
threat.
say his last. I think that the last match he just had was probably the worst showing in his performance of his career. The last one was
I don't know. I don't know what
yeah,
happened there. I was in the corner,
yeah,
and I was even approached by Frank, the president, and I was like, I didn't even know. I don't know what was going on with Turpin at that time. Like maybe he was just had a lot of shit in his head. He had a rough week, with the missing weight and whatnot for again. So he had a
yeah,
rough week. So maybe that all culminated into it. But yeah, the performance wasn't good, and I think even if I were to come off the couch, I would put on a way better performance than that.
yeah. So no, I mean, I definitely think you'd beat him, definitely. But the all the stuff leading up to it, because both you guys talk a lot of trash. That would be
Yeah.
that would be so funny to
Yeah,
watch.
if you actually go on powerslap.com and you search mine and Turpin's name, you can find videos of me and him talking shit back and forth to each other because they were trying to set that up in the beginning,
Right?
but it just never transpired. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely open to it. It would be an exciting matchup. Obviously Turpin brings a lot of eyes to the sport, and so do I. So, I
Yeah,
think it would be very very good for the sport as a whole. And I guess I'll represent the league because Turpin's fucking up, and there's
yeah.
there's no no question about it. I don't know what's going on with the missed weight stuff. I'm not blaming him or anything like that. I was actually rooting for him, to make the weight.
Yeah,
I'm still a Turpin fan, but yeah, shit happens. So maybe they're looking. Oh, who knows? Maybe I'll be fighting him at some point,
yeah,
coming out of retirement. But there's definitely more exciting matches at heavyweight now for me to come back and throw down. So we'll see.
right. So yeah, I mean, I definitely think I'd like to see you come back and take on another match. Um, you
Yeah.
know, because the heavyweight division now is starting to get you got a lot of great people out there, and it looks like they're from one of the promos. Looks like they're going to try to play Crazy Hawaiian against DeBell,
Mm.
from what I saw, which I think that would be a good one.
Nah, I don't. I personally do not want to see that. I do
Yeah,
not
yeah,
want to see that match. I don't know because you got all right. So Crazy Hawaiian, lost a lot of weight, like you said, right?
right,
All that power is gone. Like everything that he had is gone. So either I don't think he's training either, in my opinion, because
mhm,
I know Crazy Hawaiian. I know that what he does. I don't see
right,
him like training. He needs to train like really hard, and especially for the bell. Are you kidding me? The
yeah,
bell's coming in. The bell is like 270 right now, 280, and he's looking huge, bro. He's looking big. I
yeah,
stood next to him. He's looking huge, and for the Hawaiian to come in and think he's got a shot at the bell, no, he just dude. Like the only person that has a shot at the bell is Dorian, me, and Nate Bernard. Probably, I would say Nate Bernard now. Yeah. I would not put Crazy Hawaiian against the bell right now. Not at all.
yeah.
give,
Because
give Crazy Hawaiian a match first and see how he
right.
does, and then maybe. But
What,
like
what,
if huh?
what about Crazy Wine and Turpin?
That's a weird one too. Like I don't know, cause Crazy Hawaiian's what 6'3", and
Yeah, he,
Turpin says
he's
he's 6 foot,
tall, but he stayed out so much.
yeah, but like Turpin's only 5'8", 5'7", so
Right.
he's gonna be doing his little whipper thingy that he does. It doesn't make any sense. Like they put Turpin in heavyweight, and even Frank said, "Do you see Turpin going up against the bell?" I'm like, no, like not at all.
Yeah,
But he's
no,
like,
Turpin would not. He wouldn't last a second against the bell.
yeah, like I
That's
think
why
this
I
is
thought
like,
it was funny when he called the bell out at the end of his match.
yeah,
Like, what are you doing?
yeah, like it's like the bell is like all right. Like I know me and Bell have had our spat, but the bell
Yeah,
is different. Like he definitely put me on my ass, and honestly, I that's never really happened to me like that before. Like I've never had someone do that to me. So the bell is different, and I know he trained like fucking hell for me, but he's definitely a different beast. Like than people give him out. Like he's a very mild mannered guy, and he's a really cool dude, but the guy's a fucking monster when he gets up there, and I think people are underestimating. Turpin would, oh my god, he would get demolished by the bell, like bad.
so
And
yeah,
that's no offense to Turpin or anything, but
yeah,
like Turpin's just like Turpin's just fat. Like he should be 205, but
right,
he's not, but he should be, and like the bell is like a super heavyweight, like but it's all like muscle. Like I don't know. I just Turpin's in a lot of trouble if they're pushing him into heavyweight. Let's put it that way.
yeah. He's gonna struggle. But the thing, like, I talked a lot of trash about Turpin, but Turpin has the potential if he would take it serious. You know what I mean? I don't think he takes it serious.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't want to really comment on Turpin and what's going on because I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah,
But I mean, he definitely needs to figure it out. And now, since he's only at heavyweight, he needs to figure it out because he's in a lot of trouble. I mean,
yeah,
this could be a one and done situation. Like why are they putting him at heavyweight? They all know that he's not gonna last. So I think they're just setting him up for failure.
yeah. and then to go straight to heavyweight and go against try to get a title shot. That's crazy.
You gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. I mean, that
Yeah.
hey, for Turpin, that would be great for his career to go up against the Bell. I mean, everyone, that's like a legendary marker, right? Like, oh, I went up against the goat. The Bell is
Right.
fucking crazy. So yeah, if I were Turpin, I'd want to fight the Bell too, especially since I know like I said, he's basically putting up against the firing squad at this point. Like they're just putting him up against impossible competition.
Right.
So so yeah, I would want to go out against the Bell or Crazy Hawaiian. So he's making as far as his career decision is concerned, he's making the right decisions. But
Right.
I mean, he's not gonna beat the Bell. Crazy Hawaiian, that's a maybe. I don't. He just lost too much weight at a very short amount of time. He blew his knee out like
Right.
crazy, like his entire knee. So how is he gonna be up there? When you get hit. If you get hit and you get fucked up and you're knocked out a little bit, his knee
Right.
might buckle and he'll break his knee again. You
Yeah.
got that. So he's got a lot of like question marks in my opinion. So I don't know. Maybe Turpin. I would say Turpin, Crazy Hawaiian first, and then
Yeah.
then either of them for the Bell if that's what they're trying to do. But they ain't gonna do nothing to the Bell. I'm
So,
telling
like,
you.
as a coach, say that they had you coach Crazy Hawaiian. What would you recommend for him to do?
Against who?
Be the
Turpin?
biggest thing that you would have him work on.
Yeah, but against who? Turpin or Crazy or the Bell?
Either.
Crazy Hawaiian. Well, I mean, I'd have to see, because it's hard when you coach a legend. It's kind of hard because like I'm kind of newer to this. I've only had 5 fights, but
Right.
I've been doing it for a long time. Like I've like I said, I've been watching it since like 2018. Been thinking about it, been training to like all the stuff to do it. So I've been thinking about it for a very very long time. But when you
Yeah.
when you talk to someone like Crazy Hawaiian, it's like what do you tell him? And I would just see where his slap is at. Um, Try to get his slap because he's got a different body style now, so we can pull more power out of his slap than when he was
Right.
400 pounds. So I can teach him a better swing. His defense is pretty good, but I would make him get in the gym and start working that neck more. It's
Yeah.
definitely shrunk. Get those
Yeah.
shoulders up. I would have him working on strength as much. That's like the only thing that Crazy Hawaiian needs is strength and conditioning because his strength is gone. Like he's not I don't think he understands how that works because you're not
Yeah.
gonna have the same strength as you did when you're 400 pounds.
Yeah.
It was a bit,
And
in my
coaches.
opinion. In my opinion, what Crazy Hawaiian did was a bad decision. It was a bad career decision. I think his career is in trouble right now.
I really. Yeah. I
Honestly,
think because he lost a lot of weight in his face, and I think that's going to take away his ability to take a hit. And I think I say the same thing with Turpin. I think that's the reason why Turpin doesn't lose the weight because he's like me. Like if I lose weight, I lose it in my face. And so it takes away a little bit of that chin. And Turpin likes to turtle turtle up. And I think that that's one of the reasons that he stays at the weight he is because he thins out. And I think that same thing with Hawaii, Crazy Hawaiian. Uh, Losing all that weight in his face. I think that's it makes him more. I don't want to say more vulnerable, but I think he's definitely going to have to get in there and take a couple of slaps and see how it's going to work with them with the being a lot thinner. Now,
yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from Crazy Hawaiian. I think he's still a beast. I just think there's things he's probably going to want to work on. You know what I mean? Just from a fan's point of view, looking at him.
Yeah, I mean he's got he's got a lot. There's a lot of questions. You can't just lose 200 pounds and think all you're going to be the same. You're just he.
Yeah.
I hope he's not thinking that he's going to take power that he had and bring it to heavyweight or light heavyweight because that's just not how it works.
Yeah.
you're gonna be very weak. I think like I said, get in the fucking gym
Yeah.
immediately, and but he's not. He's doing all he's hanging out with the Joker. I like the Joker, but they're all doing podcasts, all this shit. They should be fucking in the gym, bro. Get the fuck off the media. Focus. Start focusing in the gym. Get your strength up. You shouldn't be. You should be taking this seriously. I just
Yeah.
don't see these. I don't see these guys taking it seriously, but that's just me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I really want to see him get in there and see what he's able to do. With losing that weight. So I don't know. So let
Yeah,
me ask you this.
it's gonna be. It's gonna be funny to see when he gets back.
Yeah.
If it's gonna be interesting to see who they give him to too. Like if they give him
Yeah.
straight to the bell, nah, I'll put the house on the bell. Like if they give him someone like say like a Bryce Jones maybe, like if they give him like someone to like build him up. I don't know. You never know, right? I don't want to count Crazy Hawaiian out, but 200-pound weight loss in
Yeah.
like under a year is just crazy. Like that's crazy work, and just get in the gym. My Crazy Wine, if you're listening, get in the gym, brother.
So yeah, we're trying to get him on. So I want to talk to him about that too and see how what his game plan is. Of moving forward
Yeah.
and how who he wants to see. You know, in the division. So
Hey, sign the contract. I'll fight him. Sign the contract. Seriously, I will fight. Like for my status and my Mount Rushmore, like how I've been beating people like that. I would love to
Right.
face Crazy Hawaiian. That would be a great match. And we're both characters, so you'll definitely get an entertaining match out of that for sure.
Yeah. This at the Powerslap 15. What did you think the biggest match was of the night?
Yeah, no, obviously Nate and Aaron was definitely. I looked at Hunter and I just said that was the best match I've ever seen. That was and I've watched hundreds of slap fights, so that match was incredible. Just because I've been helping Nate. I've been talking with Nate for months. We're really good friends, and I just know all the struggles and everything that he went through to get there and to get that win. It was an incredible moment for him and myself as well. Um, I also think that Ellie Dempster,
Yep.
her knockout of Haley J was also pretty much up there as well because you don't see, females of her weight knocking people out, and that was
Right.
really surprising, especially against someone who's ultra tough, Haley J. So
Right.
I think that set a lot of things in motion for that division, which is great because that division was pretty weak. Um, So yeah, I think Ellie and Nate had the matches of the night.
I agree too because I thought that Ellie's fight was that girl's a beast. She doesn't look like it when you see her, but that girl's a beast.
Yeah, she's
That's the
tough.
thing too. I can't wait till they actually come up with women's divisions where the women could win titles. I mean, whole titles.
They have divisions. We have women's divisions. So I mean, it's just getting more in there. I think there's not enough competition to say complete the divisions. I think the divisions are started, but they're just not complete. So I get what you're saying for sure.
So, well, the women's division is growing a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. There's a lot of
and you
women.
get a lot of big names.
This was the first time in my career that I coached women for
Right.
Power Slap, and I've coached quite a bit of events. So, to see the women how they did, it was honestly surprising to me because they're really dedicated and they're very into learning more about the sport, and they're very they listen. I everyone's like, oh, Ryan's teaching the women. It's like, oh yeah, because you guys aren't fucking listening, and these
Right.
women are. And then you get matches like because that was my corner. Ellie was my corner.
Right.
Zoe Dubois. Zoe Dubois had a great match too. She was in my corner. Taylor, Muscle Mommy, she freaking killed it. She was up against a monster of a woman, and she still held it out. Her defense was incredible. Um, and then we had unfortunately Julia. Julia, unfortunately, when she got hit in the eye, and it like the girl's nail like
Yeah.
cut her eye or something. So that messed up her whole match, and there should have been a foul, but is what it is. But you'll see when Julia Hogue gets back, she's going to be
Yeah.
someone to watch as well. So the women are coming up, and then you got Sheena coming back.
Yeah.
You got that Abby Montez, I think her name is. Abby's a
Right.
beast. Yeah, the women's divisions are building up, so yeah, it's going to be a great year, especially next year for Power Slap, since we're going to have so many events, and I think you're going
Right.
to be seeing a lot more of the women. The women are coming up. Oh, you
Yeah.
got
You got a lot of good names.
Destiny McCubbin. Destiny McCubbin is fighting on this card coming up. That's another girl to
Right.
watch out for. She's a monster. Watch out for Destiny.
Yeah. You got so she's coming back. Jackie's a beast.
Jackie,
Uh,
forgot about Jackie. Jackie Cataline, yeah, she's a fucking beat. I finally got to train with her, and I gave her
right.
some pointers, and some of those pointers clicked with her, and watch out for her because she's dropping down a weight class, and that's her natural weight class, so that's gonna be good for
Mm,
her. She's gonna run through it for sure. Ellie versus Jackie is a great match in my opinion.
right. So, and the way that Jackie took out um, Sheena, I mean, when she first came in, Jackie's got some power behind her, and I like Sheena. She's a beast too. But
Yeah,
and then you got Paige, Chelsea, uh,
Chelsea
Kathy
Dotson,
Collins.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of good names out there. I think
yeah.
that to make some good matches, and some of my I don't know. I think that if they already had titles, I like me. If they already had titles, I think Jackie would already have a title.
Yeah. No, well, Sheena. I would say Sheena would be the person that would have the title right now.
Mhm.
Jackie, Jackie. She did lose to Sheena, so
Right.
that rematch didn't go her way, and she unfortunately just went up against Abby, who same thing didn't go her way as well. Her only win
Yeah.
was a DQ. So you really can't, get off that. I think Jackie just needs to get to her weight class that she's been dying to get to for this whole time.
Yeah.
Like she was supposed to fight at 125, 135 for this match, but they moved her up because Abby couldn't make it. But once Jackie gets into her weight class, yeah, that's when when she starts winning, that's when
Right.
the title should come out. And then but yeah, I agree with you. I think it's time. I am at first I'm not really the biggest proponent for women of this sport because I think it's kind of too grueling, and I don't want to see women get hurt. It's just
Right.
pretty crazy. But I mean, after training them and coaching them and seeing their dedication and everything like that, they're definitely coming up, and it's going to be an exciting year for these women for sure, for these ladies.
Well, yeah. I mean, with the and I think that the women's division, a lot of the matches are probably just as much as anticipated as a lot of the guys' matches. When you see
Uh,
like something like Sheena and Jackie going up against each other, or even Jackie Bella, something like that. Um, those matches are huge. I mean, it draws the crowd, and sometimes even more than some of the guys' matchups, especially with all the rematches with the guys. You know what I mean?
yeah. No, I mean, you have to juggle a lot. A lot of the guys, not only are they from everywhere, we were international now, so we have a lot of international guys that we have to get here. They might have problems with their visas, things of that sort. So matchmaking and dialing in the locations of the matches and just all that is just it's got to be a headache. So Um, all the rematches and whatnot. They did that for the guys in those matches. They want those guys to be
Yeah,
stars. You Brandon Bordeaux and Isaiah Quinones. They did that 3 times. We didn't need to see that 3 times, but they did. But that's to
yeah,
build those guys up because those guys are a fixture of the sport. So
yeah,
it is what it is. The matchmaking, I'm sure, will get better. Hopefully, there's a lot of weird things they do in matchmaking, but it'll get better. The women, as far as the women is concerned, I mean, the excitement for the women is okay. It's there for sure. I'm not one of those people who get overly excited because women don't bring that kind of power that the men do. You don't. Ellie,
yeah,
yeah, Ellie knocked out Haley, but at the same time, there's little
yeah,
asterisks by it too because Haley did recover, um, which I don't know too many people saw, but Robert picked her up and touched her. So that's when as soon as a coach touches their athlete, that's an instant
yeah,
forfeiture. So I was up on the stage screaming like it's over. You know what I mean? It's fucking over. And yeah, they called it. So I mean, she didn't necessarily knock her out. Like I think Haley recovered, but you don't necessarily watch the women's matches for the knockouts, right? You watch
yeah,
them kind of for like because now we got like these beautiful women like Ellie's a very good looking girl. Michael's a very good looking girl. We have good looking girls. Jackie's a good looking girl. Sheena. I think
right.
I think everyone watches because they like the girls.
Yeah, right.
But
So
I
yeah,
mean, we'll see what
enjoy it, man.
happens.
This growing because I started like you did. I started watching the Slap Fight Championship, and with Frank the Tank, Darius, Wolverine, and I kind of followed Wolverine over to Powerslap, and that's kind of what drew me into Powerslap, yeah. And then Dana came in. He did a great job changing the aesthetics, making it more from going underground to just being a show. Yeah, I mean,
Something
so
premier
uh,
show.
right. So he did a great job with that. And then like to be able to go see it live, that was a blast. Just
Yeah.
getting out there, and seeing it, being in the crowd. Being there when people are yelling for Nate. I thought Nate had a great comeback. I mean, he got knocked down first. And it looked like it was going to be. Yeah, and they came back. I mean, just all the it was just a lot of fun. So I'm actually
Yeah, you're
looking forward
lucky.
to seeing him when he come back.
Yeah, you're very lucky to be a part of that match. That match was a very special match for sure. So being in the crowd for 15 was a special moment for sure.
So and we're looking to looking to get some sponsors so that I can start going like traveling with it. I'd love to do one in Dubai when they go to Dubai to go
Yeah,
out there live.
I'd like to go to Dubai too. Hopefully they send me.
So, so it was funny because Ron hates traveling out of the United States, and now he's got to go defend his title out there. This is the second time in Abu Dhabi. Uh, I keep telling him, dude, enjoy it, man, because you're getting out of the country. You know what I mean? And you're getting to it's thing in another country, other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but
Now
he's a country boy.
yeah, Ron doesn't like to do much of anything really. He likes to just hang around his house and hang out with the kids and his wife and
Yeah,
that's his type of life. That's where his paradise is. So, I don't blame him. I know he doesn't like to travel. It's funny, but hey, Ron is Ron. That's why we love him. He's the Wolverine.
yeah. So, well, cool, man. So what's next for you? What's next on the list for you?
Shoot. I'm sitting here just waiting for anything, waiting for a call. Like I said, the the coaching thing happened at Powerslap 15, so that's a big indication that I'm probably still around. So hopefully they
Right.
give me a call for coaching or anything. If they hit me with a good match, because me and Frank did talk, so he knows that I would come back if it was a good enough matchup. So he's kind of receptive to that. So just sitting here waiting for some sort of call, but in the meantime, just doing cool podcasts with you and other people, and just living life, man.
Cool. Cool. So if somebody wants to follow you like on your social media, um, and see what you're up to, what's the best way for them to do that?
The best way would be on Instagram, and my Instagram handle is _king_Ryan Phillips. So it's easy.
All right, cool. And we'll put that in the comments too, so they can hit you up and follow you as you continue this. Dude, I'd love to see you back on I'd like to see you back in the ring, with Turpin or Crazy Hawaiian, whoever. Get you back in there, get you another fight.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. Hopefully that happens quick.
We'll see. Yeah, if it comes about, I'll sign the contract
Right.
for sure. Turpin and Hawaiian, definites. But who knows? I always say maybe they'll give me like a Brock Lesnar or something.
Right. So you know what? I wouldn't put it past them.
Hey, I would sign on for it. Hit me up. Let's go. Me and Brock.
Right.
At the White House. Me and Brock Lesnar at the White House. Now that would be a show. That
Dude,
would be awesome.
That would be awesome. And that's another cool thing is that they're actually going to try to get this, the UFC and the Powerslap, event at the White House. That'd be awesome. That'd be a great one to go to.
Yeah, I told them, I was like, just put me on the White House. As soon as you got that card being materialized, put me on there with someone,
Right.
Anyone. I don't care. Brock Lesnar probably totally destroy me, throw me off the stage, but I'll get up there just because.
Man, I would be afraid that Brock coming in, it wouldn't be his slap. I feel like that if he clubbed you, that'd be it. You know what I mean?
I think if he just normally slapped you, it would probably be over too, man. If he did 100% slap, so night.
Man,
he's got the biggest hands. I think didn't he have like the biggest hands in the UFC? He had to get like quadruple XL gloves. They had to specially make them for him. Like,
that's massive, man.
Yeah, they're massive. So those mittens, hey, bring it. I'll take the hit and I'll just lay on the ground and say I fought Brock Lesnar at the White House. That'd be cool with me. Get a picture.
Man. So, all right, brother. Man, I appreciate you taking the time out on the Saturday, to come be on the show. It's great getting to talk to you, and man, see some of your insight on the league. Love to see you come back and fight again. So,
yeah, for sure, man. We'll do it again sometime soon. If I have any news or something like that, I'll let you know, and we could break it together.
All right, cool.
Awesome,
man. You're welcome to come or whatever.
Yeah.
Hit me up and.
You got it, buddy. You got it. Thanks for having me on, bud.
All right, cool. All right, guys. Remember, till the next episode, you are uniquely designed with a purpose, and always keep moving forward. Peace.